Hello there. Control your insolence and concentrate. It's time for Most Things Kenobi.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Most Things Kenobi, a podcast about Obi-Wan Kenobi and all things Star Wars. I'm your host, Lauren.
And I'm your host, Leanne.
This week, we are doing the final installment of the Geonosis arc, whatever. Can't say it. But before we do that, we have a little bit of housekeeping to do.
Yes.
We have launched our new Patreon stuff,
Woo-hoo!
and it's very exciting.
It is.
We are excited.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun, and we're going to have a lot of fun with the stuff we're recording, on camera stuff, and the bingo cards that we're making, and all kinds of stuff.
The bingo cards they're so cute. I sent our first one, because our first one was being like a fan of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I sent it to James Arnold Taylor.
Did he ever write back?
He did. He wrote back. He didn't fill it out, but he said, I got multiple bingos.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Well, obviously, yeah. Oh, we adore him.
Yeah. I wanted to do a free space just for him, like, does the intros for Most Things Kenobi.
There you
he's
go.
The only one who would get that.
Yeah, my mother was very offended you didn't have a free space for her.
I'm sorry. There wasn't room.
I know.
I kept trying.
It's only because she only had one or two other squares filled out. But she did pretty well for being a very casual Star Wars observer. So,
well, it's not a competition. It's
No.
just for fun. It's like literally just bragging rights that you can share on your social media. And we actually have a chat room on our Patreon where you can share your completed games. I guess it's cute. We have some fun stuff going on, and I'm really enjoying it so far. And part of our new offering is that we're going to do shout outs. So we would like to do a special shout out for one of our patrons right now.
Very close to our hearts, a dear friend as well as a patron. I would say friend first now, don't you think?
Yes. Yeah. And he's been with us from the beginning, the very beginning.
I would honor him just for that, but he's also cool as
It's true. Kevin.
We adore you, Kevin.
We do. You are amazing. And he knows so much about Rebels.
He does. And not only that, but he always manages to crack me up. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? The subtle humor. I always enjoy seeing him on our Zoom calls, our hangouts, seeing his chats, etc. He's on point with the Star Wars world.
He is. And he's a delightful human being with a good heart. So we just feel so lucky to know you, Kevin. So thank you for being a patron. Thank you for being a friend. We love you very much.
We do.
On with the gross stuff now.
God. Let's talk about Kevin some more. No.
I know. I would rather because
this worm
Brain
stuff.
Invaders is gross. It is way grosser than I remembered.
Yeah, so I rewatched the episode, and I am not okay with half of what went on in that episode. Now, I've seen it before. We've all seen it before. But when you haven't seen it in a while, it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
That is my...
It's bad. First of all, squiggly wiggly things are an issue in and of itself. And then...
True. Mm-hmm.
The whole thing with Luminara and the Queen... in the previous episode, and it goes up the nose or in the mouth or, the whole thing. And
Yeah.
But there's so much of that happening in this episode. It's like hard to, I can't. It gives me the creepy crawlies.
It's so gross. Every scenario, while one of them is sound asleep and not knowing better. And then later they're like holding people down and forcing them to be submitted to it.
Mm-hmm. That's the one I had the most problem with because I don't like that at all.
No.
Does it occur? Is it just me? But when you watch these scenes of these brain invaders, do you get like a weird tingle in the inner ear?
It's kind of more in my stomach. I feel like I want to run into the hills and never come back. scares me so much. I can't even.
I have a terrible urge to itch the deep innards of my ears.
Even though they don't go in the ear.
I know that, but I don't know why it happens. Oh, I guess it's just me.
That's really funny.
I know.
I mean, is primeval the word I'm looking for?
Well, they're going in their brains and making them talk like the Geonosians, and which is kind of brilliant if you think about it.
It's really cool if you can get past how gross it is.
Right.
It's actually a really cool idea, and I think they accomplished it very well on the show.
It was effective. Yes.
100% effective.
Yes, exactly. And the added element of Barriss, okay, to be that young and have to deal with it, normally, under normal circumstances, maybe not Jedi, because they're not normal under normal circumstances, but I think younger adults, younger kids, tweens are more squeamish. You know, generally speaking, not all of them, but when I was a kid, or at least younger, I was squeamish. Obviously, I haven't grown away from that, but these two are just kicking ass with it. I mean, of course, right?
I think I'm more squeamish now.
Is that it?
Well, maybe because you were saying like tweens. Maybe by then I was pretty squeamish. When I was a kid, I wasn't afraid of anything.
Oh, I was. Maybe I'm just a wuss. It's entirely possible. I was squeamish. I didn't like, get that away from me. Ew, get it away.
I have a funny story of when I became squeamish.
You remember the moment that you became squeamish? Well, I gotta hear it.
When I was a kid, I wasn't afraid of stuff. We would go and like pull up the downspouts and like look for salamanders or whatever when I was a little kid. I would jump in window wells. I can't believe I would do that. There's no way in hell I would do that now. Just the spiders alone.
Ew.
Never even crossed my mind.
Oh my God, no.
The neighbor kid was digging under a downspout. He found a snake.
Oh my God.
Grabbed it and was freaked out by it and threw it. And it flew through the air and hit me right in the forehead.
Oh my God. What did you do?
To this day, I have goosebumps. To this day, I remember what it looked like
was it?
flying through the air.
I bet it was
a garter snake.
Oh, okay.
It was just a harmless snake.
Okay.
But to this day, I've been like, what if I had a hood and it fell in there?
Oh
like,
my God. Brain invaders.
It's so terrifying. And after that, I was scared of everything.
Okay, let's take a moment and just think about it from the snake's perspective. He's just trying to sleep. Some kid grabs him, removes him from his home with force, and then flings him through the air, and he hits another human, and she freaks out, and his whole day is just tossed up and upturned, and the poor snake.
That snake is probably somewhere right now saying, do you remember that time I hit a girl in the forehead?
Exactly. He's got chills. I love this story so much. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. It's a total side tangent, but yeah, that's why like slithery things just scare the shit out of me now. Like I feel weak and like I'm gonna pass out from telling that story. I could not have done what Ahsoka and Barriss did in this episode. I would have had a complete panic attack.
And they quarantined the ship. They put it on lockdown so that it wouldn't infect the medical base or wherever they were going. What was it?
Yeah.
And that was smart. But that means they're locking themselves in there with it. That's like what happens. Well, it doesn't happen. At least not to Ahsoka. But
I have questions about this though.
Yeah.
First of all, why are the worms still looking for a host? Does this mean that the queen is still alive, or that they just have this parasitic instinct for self-preservation that they just latch on to the next life form?
I think it's the second, but I don't know. They're in those things, those little balls.
That's one thing I thought. I was like, she has larvae and then it becomes eggs that become worms. I was like, I don't know if this is how bugs work, but whatever.
Is this just the transportation mode for off-worlding for the brain eaters? Good
question,
brain eaters.
actually.
That escalated. I meant brain invaders.
Close enough.
Close
I mean,
enough.
what are they doing in there? I don't remember if they showed any eggs in the last episode, so good point.
You know what Clone Wars likes to do? Softly roll balls of things.
That's true.
You know, they have the bombs, they have the detonators, they have the silencers, they have they get rid of the electrocution force fields or whatever.
The droid popper thing.
Yeah, droid poppers. And then they also have small roly things with brain
Parasites
in them. Yeah. I mean, it works. When it works, it works.
I hate that we're having to talk about this. Even saying these words is gross to me.
Did you notice when, I think it's Ahsoka who slices them in half, they're like little nut pods. So are the things just wrapped up in there and incubating? Like laying in wait? It's one of those things I just can't. The whole thing
I know. I had the same thought when you see her cut it in half. I was kind of like, so what's going on in there?
Yeah.
I also think it's funny funny in a very dark way that like when she cuts the worms in half that they make noises.
Did you notice it was a wet noise? That makes it even worse.
Okay, I watched this with subtitles on and they described the noise of the worms as, where is it?
Oh no, what? I'm dying to know.
Oh, they described it as, quote, moist slithering.
See? No, thank you.
I was so grossed out by that.
Oh my God, that's so gross.
It's disgusting.
I did notice it sounded wet. I did notice.
I'm getting such like constant goosebumps talking about this.
It's a good effect. You know, it's for the effect and it works.
It's a really well done episode. It definitely, I mean, the fact that we're so grossed out by it means that they did a great job.
I mean, there's probably people out there who are completely unaffected by this because A, it's fake, but
yes, yeah, okay.
Kudos
Good
to
for
you.
them.
Exactly. Yes, we are not in that camp.
No,
You know what bothered me? I want to ask you about this. I didn't really recognize this before until rewatching it and not having seen it for a while is I forget the clone's name who comes at Ahsoka and Barriss, and one of them stabs him in the chest. Mm-hmm. You know, just whatever. And Ahsoka's like, he was my friend. He would have never done that. And it's like, he just died, and you're not even mourning the loss of a friend.
Yes.
They just moved
I
on
had the
so
same
quickly.
thought.
You did?
I know. I did. Because they keep trying to disable, like knock them unconscious and not harm them, really.
Yeah.
But that guy, I think his name was Trap, I want to say.
Maybe. Yeah. I couldn't remember.
Barriss tried, but she just decided that was the best option, was to kill him. And I get it, I guess. But the thing about that, too, so they have the ability to appear normal even when they're infected as like, what, a self-preservation thing? Because so many of them walking around with their voices changed and their posture different. And these two clones came in and were able to trick Ahsoka and Barriss. Mm-hmm. I mean, that adds a whole level to what this parasite is doing. And one of the big questions I had is, why are they doing it?
Yes, correct. I don't know.
Why take over the ship? Why? They had a plan. Who's controlling them now? There's no hive queen to control them, supposedly, unless there is.
Is there more than one queen of this species?
Wouldn't that be creepy and interesting? Maybe there's a princess somewhere.
Oh, God. What's her name? Clara?
Clara the Great.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of, something very pedestrian and yet something with a little flair.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
They never really explain a motivation. It's just creepy.
Well, it's alien. Maybe you're not really supposed to know because it's an alien species and they don't quite... That's why everybody, Fisto included, wants to study this but they don't have 5 minutes to themselves to do it between Obi-Wan and the rest of them. They just can't get their hands on one without it infecting people. So better left dead.
Is the whole point of a parasite just to exist and propagate? I suppose.
Think of, what is it, War of the Worlds? that technical parasite, if you will, killed itself because of bacteria on planet Earth. Spoiler, but but like it's not advanced enough to know. Perhaps it only knows survival mode, and then it doesn't know what could kill it if it interacts with an outside species.
That's an interesting point. I like that. Very interesting.
I always think of War of the Worlds when it comes to invaders of a certain kind. Because what they don't know, they don't know. So in this case, with infecting these clones and inhuman entities, there's a whole host of problems. Named Ahsoka. Because she's out to kill you. Little tiny Ahsoka.
In this, there's some interesting dialogue with Ahsoka, and of course, like it ties into Anakin, which we haven't even gotten to yet. I'm
savoring that moment. I'm going to get to it slowly. That was creepy.
Well, just a little bit. It's fine. Fine. There's that moment where you see Ahsoka and Barriss trying to sleep, which I thought was funny because we never see Jedi sleeping. They never seem to be able to sleep.
Correct.
And she's tossing and turning, and Barriss is like you should try to rest. Mm-hmm. And Ahsoka says she can't, so they go to the commissary and they're eating. And Ahsoka says that as a Jedi, I'm not sure I know how to do that, meaning rest and enjoy peace.
It is a curious line and a very important one that I don't think we hear uttered by anybody else.
Yeah, I was just like, what is this doing in this episode?
Well, when you're sitting at the commissary table, like... Wait, commissary? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. I guess you get into casual conversations about the workplace. Maybe Ahsoka unintentionally planted the seed of doubt within Barriss's mind in that moment about the Jedi Order.
You're reading my mind.
Really?
Yes, because this goes into this whole conversation, and it's so ironic because what it is doing is it's foreshadowing what Barriss ends up doing.
Yeah.
Ahsoka has this whole conversation of what's the difference between being a peacekeeper and a warrior. Like, is there a difference? She doesn't seem to have answers to that. Mm-hmm. And Barriss says, what does your master tell you? I have it all written out here.
Okay.
Ahsoka says, Anakin? You might find some of his thoughts on the future a bit radical. And Barriss says, really, why? Ahsoka replies, let's just say my master will always do what needs to be done. I'm not even sure how peacetime will agree with him.
She was very astute at a very young age.
What exactly is she talking about, though? Like, what is so radical about his ideas? I mean, obviously, if you've seen Attack of the Clones, you know his views on democracy.
Well, I think it's because he is prone to slashing first and ask questions after. There's a moment in some episode, or maybe it's multiple episodes, and they like kind of drive it home in that regard, where Anakin says like, why can't we just go in and take care of this? And Obi-Wan's always like, well, there's a little bit of diplomacy that needs to be taken care of first. You can't just go in guns blazing, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And Anakin just kind of wants to, and that's why he gets with Tarkin. He kind of jives a little bit with Tarkin. Anakin doesn't like to wait.
I think he really believes that the end justifies the means.
Very much. And Obi-Wan, as his master, is more about exploring what we can do and what kind of end we can promote through different means. It's a much slower, more patient, more, I don't know if it's empathetic to the subject that they're dealing with, that, where you're just kind of taking in all sides and all parties and all outcomes. And Anakin just is like, A plus B equals C, and we just need to go in and do it.
I feel like Obi-Wan is willing to use Force. So, I know.
Oh, I'm not saying he isn't, but
I was going to say everyone thinks he's a cinnamon bun. No, not everybody. But there is a camp of people who think of him as a cinnamon bun, which we don't. But
he's willing to take the extra minute to think something through.
And a lot of times he tries to give, even though he knows what he's there to do. Like the Queen 100%. Is a great example.
Yep.
Like he's there to, take her power, but he tries to do it in a way that gives them the chance for dignity,
True.
at least.
Yeah, very true.
And a lot of times that's still insulting enough that people won't take the opportunity, so then he uses force. But Anakin doesn't really give that opportunity for people to preserve their dignity, as Poggle knows firsthand.
Before we get to this, I find it ironic because Anakin, I think it's in season 1 when they're at the moon of Pantora. Is it the Pantoran moon? Or
oh yeah,
remember the moon and the white creatures? He's the one that takes
Yes.
more time to get to understand what they're saying, and it's almost like he gets less patient the older he gets, which is not how normal people work. You're supposed to gain wisdom and become more patient and understanding. Supposed to, keyword. But it's almost like he thinks it's a waste of time. Let's just go in there and take care of things. Exactly pointing to how he deals with Poggle.
When people aren't completely linear, I mean, we all have days where we're more patient than other days.
Totally, yep.
But he does seem to... I really do feel like the patience that Anakin shows is probably only because of Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and Ahsoka, he's patient with her. I mean, he gets, like, short with her, but he's more patient to see her succeed than not.
Yeah, and there's actually I really love the exchange in this episode where Anakin is saying, you know, she would have checked in. And Obi-Wan's like, the way you check in? Like, I don't think you realize how alike you are. And Anakin's like, good point.
Yeah.
Classic do as I say, not as I do. This conversation between Ahsoka and Barriss is so interesting because it's about Anakin. And it ties into the very end of the episode where Ahsoka's kind of doubting herself.
Yeah.
Because
I know.
She chooses to save her friend, which she then... This did not click for me very quickly. I had to, like... The fortune cookie at the beginning is attachment is not compassion. Which is a very odd but interesting sentiment. And Ahsoka is worried at the end that because she chose to save Barriss, she chose attachment over the greater good.
Well, Barriss did tell her, you'll do what needs to be done, right? If something were to happen to Barriss, which it does. And I think she went back on that. She said yes, but she didn't probably feel it in her heart. Obviously, she didn't feel it in her heart. So she probably felt like she lied to Barriss. She lied to herself. She lied to the code.
But what I see it as is more strength because she saw the alternative path that then saved them all.
Yes.
So it's like this narrow path that kind of Anakin has maybe taught her without meaning to teach her. Because at the end he said, you did the right thing. But she's questioning whether it was the right thing because of the way his teaching is kind of like give her this one path only option. And she is so... It was such a cool moment for the character, I thought, because it really showed that not only is Ahsoka possibly willing to do what needs to be done, she then finds the way through that protects everyone instead of sacrificing her humanity and her friend's life. She chooses this other path that actually ends up saving all of them.
Which is a characteristic of her that we see all the way through to her older self that we see in the Ahsoka series. I mean, it's a staple of her character's spine, if you will, what she stands for.
Yeah,
which
for
is
sure.
completely juxtaposed with how Anakin does not self-reflect on what he does. Doesn't at all. Here's Ahsoka, younger than him, greener than him, in the Jedi, if you will, and in this war, questioning, thinking, pondering, worrying about choices, and Anakin doesn't do that very much.
You know, it kind of struck me watching this that Anakin has already slaughtered a whole village of sand people at this point, and we never come back to that in the Clone Wars. They don't really bring that up too much.
No, just in the...
They talk about
Mortis,
Shmi. Yeah.
the Mortis flashback.
In terms of his mom, but not really in terms of, it is
right.
Mortis. Yeah.
Well,
maybe he doesn't regret it.
I was going to say that. Because to him, something had to be done and he did it.
That was just vengeance, though.
Exactly, but he doesn't, I think maybe after the fact, but that's that anger inside him that ends up doing that. It's not the thoughtful process of, okay, this is where we're at with this situation. We have to handle it. But then, no, Anakin. No, Anakin.
It makes me wonder, like, Anakin, no.
Anakin,
You've just
no.
summed up all of the Star Wars prequels in one sentence. I wonder, though, how realistic is that for a person to lose control like that and then be able to maintain control in other equally stressful and upsetting situations like he does throughout the Clone Wars? Because usually it's like an escalation. I'm not a therapist or psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever. I don't know for sure. But it feels like that kind of behavior, you would escalate into it. And I feel like he exhibits quite a bit of self-control in Clone Wars after what happened in Attack of the Clones, where he has, like, totally lost all control.
That's a good point. I don't know. I don't know.
Just an empty question, I guess.
We don't have one of those things in the galaxy we ponder to this day. You know. Well, let's talk about him and Poggle, because...
Let's do it, please.
My God.
Everything about it is so enjoyable.
It's so good. It's so good. Listen to me. It's so good. It's so
even the way he walks down the hallway and
just stop. When I remember the day I first saw this episode ever in my life, and that very subtle, the march music, just kind of woven, just kind of placed in there, just sprinkled in. I was dying inside. So it was one of those, oh my God, what's happening? And he has his arms behind his back. He's walking in there and he does the Jedi mind trick thing, and that doesn't work. And then he's embarrassed. Poggle embarrasses his ass. And I will say this. I do not like how he backhands him. I think that is the more egregious act as opposed to the force choking.
And he says, like, mind trick. Who needs a mind trick? And it's just, he takes pleasure in this moment.
He does. And I love that because we know it's Vader. Only because we know it's Vader. I am really uncomfortable with the fact that he hits that Poggle.
Yeah.
It's so insulting. Like when you slap somebody, when you backhand somebody, oh my God. I'm okay with force choking, maybe because it's not like person-on-person contact. You know what I mean? It's like less personal. You are standing at a distance, you know?
I mean, they do say that choking a person is one of the most personal ways to kill them.
Right, but they're not choking them. They're holding their hand
like
up.
Hands on.
Yeah. Because the personal bit of that is looking into their face. And like they do zoom in on Anakin's expression, which is cold as ice.
Yeah, and the only other person I think he lays hands on that way is Rush Clovis.
Well, his two triggers, I guess. We got to do that episode soon. I want to talk about that episode. That's so good.
It's a good one. It's one of those, well, I guess there's the standalone one in season 2, and then there's the couple in the last season.
Right, I'm talking about the season 2. The last ones are really uncomfortable. The season 2 one is just ridiculous.
True. Yeah. True. Yes.
But anyway, Poggle. I feel for the dude. I really do.
I do too. You know what I really loved, actually?
What?
Is afterwards when Anakin comes back and he's standing surrounded by all these Jedi Masters, and he has the information, and Obi-Wan is just looking back.
Obi-Wan,
like he knows.
Yeah,
he knows.
He knows, and he's not saying.
Ki-Adi-Mundi is like, how did you get this information? And Obi-Wan's like, I am not saying shit like you just said.
Yeah, nope. I'm out. I'm not saying anything.
I wash my hands of this.
I wasn't there. I had nothing to do with it. I don't know this kid. The end.
I raised him to be better than this.
And this is the moment where Obi-Wan goes back to his little apartment and eats the pie straight from the pan over the sink. For those of you who know, you know. Perfect example.
It's true. It's very true. It's good stuff. I really loved it.
I love that scene. And it's really the music and the angle of like Poggle and Anakin, like the way it's filmed, if you will. Like there's
Yeah.
you know, a power struggle in the way that it's reflected in their positions and stuff. And I don't know. I love it. I love it. But the thing I wanted to ask you, this has nothing to do with that scene, by the way.
Okay.
But it's in my notes. Why Kit Fisto in this episode? Do you have any idea?
Because Luminara and Ki-Adi-Mundi are already in action.
I guess. I guess.
Maybe because he's really kind and compassionate. And maybe Ahsoka would need that after this truly, truly deeply upsetting experience.
That's a good point. Okay. Because, you know, Plo Koon could have been in this position too, but he might be too close to Ahsoka.
That's a great point.
You know, the bond they have, if you will.
Yeah. You know, they don't really explore that very much, except on the Citadel arcs is really the only place they kind of touch on.
Yeah. Wonder why.
What's his name?
Plo Koon?
Plo Koon and Ahsoka's relationship. Yeah, I don't know why, because he's the one who found her.
Yeah.
And you would think there'd be, I mean, there is, clearly. You can see it even in the small interactions that they've had, that there is affection there between us. Between us. Between us.
Okay.
Between them. Here we go again, thinking of ourselves as part of the story.
I love it.
I think this is the second time in this arc that we've said that in our episodes.
I don't know why. Well, what I wanted to say about Kit Fisto is it was not lost on me that his tentacles match the worms.
No. Oh dear.
And I wondered, is that why they placed him in this episode? Does he understand? I don't know what those things are called. It's like his hair, but it's not. I get it. It's, you know,
I don't know what
he's underwater. He's an amphibious man.
Because there's Montrose or whatever Ahsoka has, and then there's the kind of
the Leku.
I don't even know what they're called.
The Leku.
Yes.
On the Twi'leks, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god, I can't believe you literally read my mind.
Well,
yes.
it's there's multiple of them, but Ahsoka's are allegedly hollow. I don't know about a Twi'leks. Does anyone out there know?
I don't either.
The anatomy of these tentacles?
They only have two. And now Kit Fisto has like a whole bunch.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It just occurred to me. I'm like, oh, we got all kinds of squirmy things. We got his hair or whatever that is. We got the worms. We got all kinds of stuff.
I really like him, though.
I do. I love him. He's always smiling. Always smiling. He's good-natured.
Even when dealing with a parasite, he smiles.
He's a vibe. He's a whole vibe.
He really is. He's right up there with the whole image of Qui-Gon wearing under the umbrella and the sandals saying, "Sorry I'm late, I didn't want to come."
Oh my god. That's a mood. Qui-Gon with the umbrella is a mood.
It's my favorite imagery ever.
Now we need Kit Fisto.
In like sandals.
Yeah, with like an iced coffee.
Yes.
Shaking the ice. You know, people with iced coffees just compulsively.
Swirling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we kind of need to talk about the end.
Yeah.
Between Barriss and Ahsoka specifically.
Yes.
I think.
What are your thoughts?
It's really heavy.
It is heavy. Yeah.
Barriss literally begs Ahsoka to kill her. They're children.
Yeah. But it's a reflection, I think, of Luminara's teachings. Honestly. But do you take it as like it's so bad, this thing, that she just wants it to be done?
That's how I took it, but I'm interested. Tell me what your thoughts are. Like, why Luminara's teachings?
Well, I just think it seems to be Barriss's default is if something goes wrong, it's over. Same with Luminara.
Interesting.
Like, save everyone by getting rid of me. You know, and they did that when the weapons factory, you know, they're just kind of ready to like hang it up every time there seems to be some kind of issue. So I just wonder if, I'm not saying she's not a sacrificial good person, a good Jedi in the fact of like, you know, take me out too.
Yeah.
But I have to wonder.
They're so eager to die as a hero that they're constantly like, just leave me.
I mean, if we didn't have the weapons factory episode, I would think otherwise. But because this is all within the span of like, what, a week, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Give or take? That's a whole lot of going on with these two kids.
Seriously, this whole Geonosis mission for them has been deeply traumatizing, I think.
Geonosis is a cesspit for every Jedi that ever touches ground there.
Well, now Anakin says that they think that the parasite is the reason they were able to retake the planet. What does that mean? God, never go there again.
No.
Just leave
I
that.
don't.
Leave that place.
But yeah, not to discount what you said, it's terrible that anyone is begging for that or is in a position of that. And like, what a decision for Ahsoka to make.
I know, the whole sequence of Barris begs her to kill her, and then she starts screaming and grabbing her head, and Ahsoka's standing there like, should I kill her? It seems like I probably should kill her.
Well, this is where the fortune cookie comes in, because her attachment to Barris and the compassionate thing, I guess, in the moment would be to relieve her of this.
Yeah.
Because of her attachment, but it's the attachment that led to her kind of saving. It's difficult, but it's there, you know?
The fortune cookie says that attachment is not compassion.
Right. I don't think it is.
Like,
they can be two separate things.
Yeah. I don't know. It's bizarre. Part of me also wondered if, Barris had a parasite in her brain.
Mm-hmm.
And Anakin's like, oh, she's going to be fine thanks to you. Really? Are you going to be fine? Makes me wonder if it had any impact on the fact that she fell to the dark side later.
Ooh, that's a good point. I never,
Because, they are kind of aligned with the Separatists, which is kind of like the dark side, the Geonosians, so maybe it had some sort of lasting effect. I'm not basing that on anything but just my own curiosity.
Well,
no one has ever said that.
It's a ponderous thing I've never thought of, but I can't argue against it.
There's no answer to that either. I guess it's just...
It's curious, though. That's a curious point. I wonder if anyone else out there has any thoughts. That would be something. If you... I guess that's our question. We'll get to that, but
yeah.
I'm curious what the masses have to say. That's a good question to ask.
The whole experience could have been deeply traumatizing, and then, as with everything, like Nigeria is a great example. Obi-Wan gets taken as a slave and tortured for we don't even know how long. We're not even sure how long that time period is. Immediately goes right back to work. No one has ever mentioned, like, hey, do you need to talk to somebody?
Does the Jedi Temple have a therapist, or are they just supposed to meditate?
I don't know. I've heard stories, and I cannot recall right now off the top of my head if they're fan fiction or if they're actual stories where they have, like, mind healers.
That would be something. Oh, could I get one? That would be so nice.
Same. I would love one. Please just come and fix me.
And nobody was able to fix Anakin, huh?
So must not be canon, yeah.
He probably never went down that hallway. He's like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
Do you have any other final thoughts?
I don't know. As a whole, with now, these 4 episodes, they're all so different.
They really are. They do cohesively run together, though.
Yeah.
One right after another, but...
How would you rate the whole arc overall?
Oh, this whole arc, I would give it an 8, 8.5, 8.7 out of 10. It's good. It's good. There's so many parts to it.
Yeah.
There's so many angles.
It's one of the rare arc where each of the characters kind of gets their own little story.
Very much, yes.
A lot of times an arc will be like for a set of characters, but this one kind of goes in different directions for each one of them. Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan, they all kind of get their own little side quest.
For comparison's sake, the Mortis arc is a 10 out of 10 for me. Maybe a 9.7. Yeah. Okay. If
it's
whatever.
Because it's sad.
It is. It's But I'm going off of like my initial, when I remember I first watched those episodes, I was absolutely stunned, blown away.
Yes. Mortis blew my mind.
And honestly, this one, now going over it again with the rewatch and remembering how I felt the first time seeing landing at Point Rain all the way to Brain Invaders, it's a pretty good arc. It's a solid arc.
Yeah, it makes sense why it turned me into an Obi-Wan obsessed freak. Here we are, how many years later, and I'm deeper than ever.
I like how you just said that.
I mean, it's true. I probably watched this the first time in like 2016.
Yeah.
And here we are, 10 years later.
Crazy.
Not quite, 9 years later.
Close
and
enough.
It has not gotten better.
Well,
I'm still deeply obsessed.
how would you rate the arc in your way? How would you rate it? All of it, the whole thing.
The whole thing, like an 8, yeah. Because, like, Landing at Point Rain and Legacy of Terror, 10.
Yes,
But
correct.
the other two,
yeah,
less so.
That's
so
what
it
I'm
kind of
thinking.
brings the whole average down a little bit to an 8, I would say. Because, yeah, it's like peak Obi-Wan and then totally disgusting worm that I'm not into.
and we get a glimpse of Vader. I mean, this arc has it all. Do you know that skit? Yeah, Stefan from Saturday Night Live. If you're not familiar, look it up. But this arc has everything. I guess we can leave it at that. Stefan, see us out.
All right, our question for you, listeners. It's the one we asked just a little while ago. What are your thoughts on how this particular episode, but any of the Geonosian arc, how that might have affected Barris's choice later on when she actually turned to the dark side and left the Jedi Order violently, framing Ahsoka along the way, considering that Ahsoka saved her life. That's kind of sad. Do you think the parasite had anything to do with it? We would love to hear your thoughts. Tell us either on social media. You can leave comments right on Patreon. You can leave comments right on Spotify. Let us know your thoughts.
In our next episode, we are going to go back to a topic we covered in the early days of Most Things Kenobi. And that is Clone Wars, a kid's show? Question mark?
I think that was our second episode ever.
Yeah. So we asked the question, is Clone Wars a kid's show? And we're going to pick 2 more instances where it's questionable. And we're going to talk, I'm going to pick one, Lauren's going to pick one. We aren't going to tell each other what they are. And then we'll discuss the moments that we question whether or not this
Do you
is.
remember what we picked?
I picked
before?
Obi-Wan in Mandalore, and that guy throws himself over the edge as
Yes.
the death.
What did I pick? I don't remember. I remember your pick, but I don't remember my own.
Oh, shit, I don't know.
Okay, have to go back and listen so I don't pick it twice.
If you need a refresh, go back to our first season, early on in the first season, and re-listen to that episode and get ready for our next episode where we'll cover 2 more very questionable moments in Clone Wars.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Most Things Kenobi. If you'd like to support the podcast and become a patron, head over to the Most Things Kenobi Patreon. You can always interact with us on our social media platforms, Tumblr, Instagram, YouTube, and Threads, and don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast player. If you enjoy our podcast, feel free to rate us on Spotify and Apple, and if you need just one place to find all of these, head over to mostthingskenobi.com.
So until next time, my space twin, may the Force be with you.
Always.